Do you know about the poignant past of Bartholomew Kuma and Jinny, and the unknown weakness of Kuma's Paw-Paw fruit? In this video, we're shining a light on the hardships and joyful times that Kuma and Jinny shared together. We'll also delve into how the political oppression in the Sorbet Kingdom led Kuma and Jinny down the path to joining the Revolutionary Army. Plus, we're focusing on the abilities of Kuma's Paw-Paw fruit and its unique weakness where its effects revert over time. I've thoroughly explored how this weakness impacted Kuma's fate. If you think these insights offer a fresh perspective, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any different theories or points I might have missed, let me know in the comments. Be aware, this video contains spoilers up to One Piece chapter 1097, so let's dive right in. In the previous episode, chapter 1096, we witnessed the attack on God Valley by the Rocks Pirates and the Rogers Pirates 38 years ago. Days after the incident, the episode concluded with a glimpse of Jinny and Ivankov, who managed to escape God Valley using Kuma's Paw-Paw fruit abilities. Now, in chapter 1097, the story fast-forwards 8 years. At the age of 17, Kuma had become a priest in his homeland, in the Sorbet Kingdom, following in his father's footsteps. On Sundays, he would use the powers of the Paw-Paw fruit to alleviate the pains of the elderly. Meanwhile, Jinny, now 21, had grown into a beautiful woman, reminiscent of Bonney. Despite their tragic past as slaves, it seems they managed to escape God Valley and were living happily in Sorbet Kingdom. However, the kingdom was not peaceful or prosperous, as its citizens struggled to pay the heavenly tribute to the celestial dragons. Those who couldn't pay were imprisoned by the ruthless king. When Kuma turned 22, Jinny promised to him, saying, "Let's get married, Kuma." Kuma, though believing he could be happy with Jinny, remembered how his mother, who was not of the Buccaneer tribe, was enslaved. Fearing Jinny's happiness would be jeopardized, Kuma indirectly refused her proposal, saying, "I don't want to make you unhappy." Chapter 1097 takes us to 14 years ago. Kuma and Jinny remained close, yet they were not living together nor appeared to be married. This raises a question. Is Bonney Kuma's biological daughter? Considering their common traits, such as large appetite, it's almost certain that Bonney's mother is Jinny. However, as of 14 years ago, it doesn't seem they were married. The possibility of Bonney having a different father or the introduction of a new significant character at this stage seems unlikely, leading me to believe Kuma is indeed Bonney's real father. In this episode, we got a flashback of Kuma, revealing new information about the Paw-Paw fruit. Before diving into this analysis, let's first recap the abilities of the Paw-Paw fruit. It's a Paramecia-type devil fruit, allowing the user to repel anything they touch with their palms, including objects, living beings, gases, and even natural phenomena. Remarkably, it can even repel pain and memories out of a person's body. Moreover, this repelling force can be used for instantaneous travel to distant locations. Truly, it's a cheat-level ability. It can't be helped. Masses of pain and suffering won't disappear until someone takes them on. If left alone, they return to their original owner. Bartholomew Kuma. Kuma was shouldering the pain he repelled from the elderly. However, a significant weakness of this ability is that anything repelled will return to its original location unless someone else takes it on. Zoro also experienced this during the Thriller Bark arc, where he took on the pain inflicted on Luffy in his fight with Mariah, almost dying from the severity. Considering the damage Zoro endured, Kuma's ability to take on pain weakly suggests that his resilience stems from being a member of the strong Buccaneers tribe. This episode revealed that anything repelled by the Paw-Paw fruit's power will return to its original place over time. But why didn't the memories of Kuma found at Egghead return to him? One possible explanation is Dr. Vegapunk's scientific intervention. However, it's hard to believe that even Vegapunk, who deciphered the Devil Fruit's mechanisms, could interfere with its limitations. A plausible hypothesis is that the owner of the repelled memories no longer exists. Currently, Kuma has lost his self-awareness. If he's no longer the Kuma he used to be, then the owner of the memories is gone, preventing their return. Additionally, there's the question of why Kuma expelled his own memories. It's possible that the world government ordered the erasure of memories that could incite hatred towards them, hindering their plan to turn Kuma into a compliant bioweapon. If this assumption is correct, the current Kuma is a completely different entity from the Kuma we knew. Therefore, the likelihood of Kuma now attacking Mary Joie, regaining his self-awareness, seems quite low. Kuma and Jinny survived the God Valley incident and were living peacefully in the Sorbet Kingdom until a major incident occurred 22 years ago. The catalyst was the southern part of the kingdom, densely populated with elderly people and thus contributing less to the heavenly tribute. The king decided to segregate the south, allowing northerners to treat southerners as slaves. This situation in the Sorbet Kingdom closely mirrors the American Civil War, which took place between the northern and the southern states from 1861 to 1865, primarily due to conflicts over slavery. Returning to the Sorbet Kingdom's story, according to Jinny, this segregation policy was influenced by the world government. Kuma, with his past as a slave, vehemently opposed this law, which effectively reinstated slavery. His rebellion to save the people of the South led to his imprisonment, and Jinny, along with others, ended up in jail trying to free him. It seemed the kingdom would continue as a discriminatory state, but suddenly, we are not letting them go playing Celestial Dragon. Emporio Ivankov. Disgusting. Monkey D. Dragon. The kingdom was attacked by Dragon and Ivankov's forces. This led to the abolishment of the slavery policy, and the Sorbet Kingdom escaped its tyrannical rule. Kuma became the king of Sorbet Kingdom, likely due to his opposition to slavery and the trust he garnered from the people of the South. People of the kingdom still refer to him not as the king, but as Kumachai when he returns after joining the Revolutionary Army. Therefore, it seems Kuma's kingship came later. Hey Kuma, if you're still the same as back then, let's change the world together. Emporio Ivankov. Ivankov, impressed by Kuma's actions in God Valley and his kind heart, invited him to join the Revolutionary Army. Kuma accepted, and with his addition alongside Dragon and Ivankov, the Revolutionary Army was born. Jinny, living with Kuma, also joined the Revolutionary Army at the same time. In the panels depicting the Revolutionary Army, we can see figures resembling the current army commanders like Karatsu and Belobeti. As shown in Kuma's flashback, Ivankov and Kuma were former slaves and involved in the God Valley incident. Similarly, Koala was a former slave, and Sabo witnessed the atrocities of his nation and nearly got killed by a celestial dragon. Thus, many of the Revolutionary Army commanders have endured painful pasts and witnessed the world government's injustices firsthand. It's possible that the current commanders, who have been with Dragon for the past 22 years, also have harrowing backstories that may be revealed in the future. This episode depicted the birth of the Revolutionary Army, showcasing a young Monkey D. Dragon. Interestingly, just like in Chapter 1066 with Vegapunk's flashback featuring Kobar, Dragon doesn't have his facial tattoo 22 years ago. However, by 14 years ago, as seen in the latest chapter, Chapter 1097, he has acquired the tattoo. While this episode focuses on Kuma's flashback and doesn't delve into the dragon's past, the facial tattoo likely signifies a significant event in Dragon's life between these two time points. Notably, this period also coincides with the birth of Dragon's son, Luffy, who is currently 19 years old, suggesting the tattoo may be related to Luffy's birth. I was in the Marines once. Unfortunately, I couldn't find justice there. Monkey D. Dragon. It's revealed that Dragon, now deemed the world's most wanted criminal, was once a member of the Marines. Possibly, like Garp's attempts to raise Ace and Luffy as Marines, Dragon might have been forcefully enlisted by Garp. Dragon left the Marines and formed the Revolutionary Army because he couldn't find justice in the Navy. His army, known for turning governmental outrage into demonstrations worldwide, implies that Dragon left the Marines after witnessing its darker aspects and the world government's injustices. This could include the Navy's obligation to follow questionable orders from the world government, and the fact that they are revolutionizing and freeing countries from the control of world government, protecting abandoned people unable to pay the heavenly tribute. While Garp likely tried to stop Dragon from leaving the Marines, his extensive knowledge of the Navy and world government's dark side, including the God Valley incident, might have prevented him from strongly opposing Dragon's decision. Therefore, despite Dragon becoming the world's most wanted criminal, it's possible that Garp didn't completely disown him and might still be in contact periodically. And now, let's discuss the significant event at the end of chapter 1097, the abduction of Jinny. Jinny is a crucial figure for both Kuma and the Revolutionary Army, and is highly likely to be Bonney's mother. However, since Bonney was raised by Kuma and Jinny doesn't appear in the flashback, it's probable that Jinny is no longer alive. The portrayal of Jinny's abduction scene is ominous, suggesting that she may have lost her life during this incident. It's likely that the world government, or an organization acting on its behalf, is behind her kidnapping. Consider this: "I will follow you, Dragon." Bartholomew Kuma. Though Kuma expresses his loyalty to Dragon, he later leaves the Revolutionary Army to become a Seven Warlord of the Sea, a pirate. Kuma's translation to a Seven Warlord is suspicious, as he wasn't originally a pirate and didn't have a pirate crew. It doesn't seem likely that he joined the Seven Warlords for the typical benefits such as legal piracy or immunity from the Navy. On the other hand, the world government's gain from making Kuma a Seven Warlord includes monitoring the Buccaneers' tribe and possibly desiring him as a test subject, like the Lunarians. Therefore, Kuma's Seven Warlord status seems conveniently advantageous for the world government. Hey, Tyrant Kuma, the only Seven Warlord who acts under the world government's orders. Gecko Mariah, Chapter 474. Mariah's depiction of Kuma as someone who blindly follows the world government's orders seems incongruous, considering Kuma's history of oppression under the Celestial Dragons and his disdain for the world government. There are many inconsistencies in Kuma's actions post the depicted scenes. These changes in Kuma's role and position, from a government-opposing revolutionary to an advantageous tool for the world government, indicate a 180-degree turn in his life. All these changes likely stem from a significant turning point in Kuma's life, the abduction of Jinny 14 years ago. Thus, it's highly plausible that the world government orchestrated Jinny's abduction. However, unexpected enemy. Revolutionary Army. The person reporting Jinny's abduction to Dragon mentioned an unexpected enemy. From this, it is quite possible that the people who kidnapped Jinny were pirates or people from countries that had helped the revolution, who would not normally attack the Revolutionary Army. There's no information on Bonney being born to Kuma and Jinny 14 years ago, nor any indications of Jinny having a child at that time. This confirms suspicions about Bonney's actual age being much younger than her appearance. Bonney's true age is revealed to be under 14, as indicated in chapter 1060, where she emerges from the sea as a young girl while being chased by a mechanical shark. Her usual adult appearance is likely due to the age-manipulating powers of the age fruit. This would explain her reverting to true form when her devil fruit powers were nullified in the sea. Admiral Kadzaru's remark about children maturing quickly and Dr. Vegapunk referring to Bonney as a, quote, young girl, end quote, indicate she is indeed a child. Bonney's emotional plea to the pacifista, resembling her father, suggests she's not mature enough to detach from such an illusion completely. Vegapunk's description of Bonney as a young girl implies she will be born soon after these events. There are no signs of Jinny being pregnant just before her abduction, suggesting she survived the kidnapping and gave birth to Bonney later. After the incident, Kuma was captured by the Navy and agreed to undergo body modification and participate in clone development in exchange for returning to the sea as a Seven Warlord of the Sea. I can understand Seven Warlords of the Sea and developing clone soldiers, but cyborg gestation is a death sentence. Jewelry Bonney. As Bonney stated in chapter 1064, it's implausible that Kuma accepted cyborg transformation, tantamount to a death sentence, solely to return to the sea. This implies other conditions were involved. The one thing that is more important to Kuma than himself, yes, Jinny. The most likely scenario is Kuma accepting the cyborg transformation to save Jinny. If this hypothesis is correct, Jinny survived the abduction, but might have been later killed by the world government. The most likely reason for the world government targeting Jinny would be her association with the Buccaneer tribe, regardless of whether she and Kuma were married. Kuma's restraint in not marrying Jinny, fearing her unhappiness, ultimately went unrewarded. The Jinny abduction incident and the subsequent loss of Jinny, the most important person to Kuma, likely contributed to his transformation into the tyrant persona he's known for today. Jinny's abduction and presumed death marked the start of a tragic countdown for Kuma. After overcoming numerous hardships including slavery, family loss, and the God Valley incident, his life seemed to be on a happier path. However, recent revelations indicate a descent into tragedy. Kuma's mother's death was confirmed in Chapter 1095, with Chapter 1097 almost certainly establishing Bonney's real age as below 14. An inconsistency then arises regarding Queen Dowager Connie's existence, introduced during the Reverie arc. Bonney infiltrated Mary Joie to save Kuma, disguised as Connie by aging herself with the power of the age fruit. The title Queen Dowager generally refers to the mother of the current king. At that time, the only known connection to the Sorbet Kingdom was Kuma being a former king, leading to speculation that Bonney was either disguising herself as Kuma's mother or was thought to be his mother. However, if Kuma's mother is deceased and Bonney is actually a young girl, then Connie's existence is questionable. If Connie is a real figure known to the guards, it raises the possibility that Bonney herself might have been Queen Dowager of the Sorbet Kingdom before becoming a pirate. Kuma's personality and the affection he received from his people depicted in his flashbacks contradict Jinbe's information in Chapter 1064 about Kuma being a quote-unquote bad king who was exiled by his people and turned pirate. This discrepancy suggests that the world government might have altered information about Kuma's past, just like the God Valley incident. I have given you an order, Vegapunk. I will not allow the ego to remain. St. J. Garcia Saturn. In Chapter 1094, a character, presumed to be the Saint Saturn, commands Dr. Vegapunk to completely erase Kuma's self-awareness, indicating that Kuma retaining any self-awareness is detrimental to the world government. This implies that there are facts about Kuma's past that the government wants to keep hidden. Considering Kuma's traumatic childhood and the subsequent hardships he faced as an adult, it's likely that his tragic story is far from over, with more sorrowful revelations to come. So, what are your thoughts on these speculations? That's all for today. This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we'd be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. Thank you for watching to the end, and we'll see you in the next video.